One way or another, this is the end of our road. Shall we go?
Stay here, Martin. Someone needs to take charge of the spire.
I thought you might say that. Meister Wolf doesn't lack for nerve, but the man's a bit mad. Seems wrong, though. We started this journey together. I would have liked to have been there at the end.
Whatever happens, stay here. You'll be the last defense against Jane, if we fail.
Small chance of that. I've seen you fight. Bad idea crossing swords with you. Remember, out of all the survivors of the Legion, the Radiant Youth chose you. He appeared to no one else. I think he chose well, and I'd follow you down any route. Goodbye, my friend.
You're here. You won't believe what's happened. It started just before you...
Jane Cascinder is here, in this valley. She thinks she can speak to her mother's gods and call the Archons back to life.
Well, whatever she's done, you better look outside. Something terrible is happening. Come with me. I'll show you.
Legionnaire! It seems that you've arrived just in time for the end.
You should be with your people, Lazar. They need your leadership now.
If I could reach them, I would. That path is closed to me, alas.
He's right. The entire West Wing has collapsed. Returning to town is impossible.
We're alive, aren't we? Don't be so quick to give up hope.
Hope? You think I should have hope? Look! The signs are all around us. Stars are dropping from the heavens and we are all going to die. You see? It is folly to think of hope.
Jane Cascinder hasn't won. Not yet. I can still get you to safety in the causeway.
Causeway? But I thought only Legionnaires were allowed to...
This is fascinating, but there should be less talking and more fleeing, yes?
Excellent point. To the causeway then. Wanted to do this, to travel by causeway like the Legionnaires of old.
I'm happy for you. It would be a shame to get this close only to die under a pile of rock.
Go on. Head through the causeway. You should be safe in there.
Here, take this key. You'll need it to unlock the door downstairs. Until our paths cross again. Hopefully sooner than later, hey?
I find it difficult to believe I'm saying this, but I am proud to stand here with you. Let's finish this, yes?
Jane Cassinder is close. She found her way to the tree at the center of the forest, and she's waiting for you there. I came to warn you. She is not alone.
She's called the other Archons back to life. I've already seen them. And another creature, too.
Not just the Archons and the Devas. Something much worse. It hasn't taken shape.
What's happened to the Archons? Why do they look so strange?
The power at the heart of this forest has been twisted and ruined. It can only give birth to monsters now. That is Jane's fault, though she doesn't understand what she's done wrong.
Jane called something else back to life? Do you know what it is?
Nothing I have seen before. But anything is possible here. This forest grew from a seed of the first creation. It's alive with the power of the old creator gods. Jane has tapped that power. She has used it wrongly, yes. But it's still the same power that gave birth to the world. Limited only by her mortal mind. But it won't matter. If you strike now, you can still defeat her.
Jane lost her chance for redemption. Now she answers for all she's done.
The presence that is taking shape, it forced me from the grove. Its power is much older than mine. But I will try to weaken Jane's allies, to stop as many as I can from coming to her aid. And I will be with you again, before the end.
This place is coming apart at the seams. Hurry! Cassinder is near. Let us finish this, yes? Never seen magic on this scale.
So you followed me here. You are stubborn. And I admire you for that. But you should never have come. I have restored the Archons to life. Just as I promised.
All this for what? To win a crown?
Yes. To take back this kingdom. As is my right. The Archons are not all that has returned. The power of creation still lives in this grove, and anything can be born anew. Even the creator gods themselves.
Something is taking shape. There, in front of the tree.
The voices of my mother's gods. I cannot hear them anymore. Not even a whisper.
They are lost. You will not see them or hear them ever again.
You lie, child. Or whatever you truly are behind that innocent face.
No, Jane Cassander. I speak the truth. What remained of your mother's gods has been destroyed, and the power of creation has fled this grove. It will never return.
That power was dangerous. Better that it's gone.
No. It was precious. My mother searched for thousands of years, and this was the only remnant of her gods that she ever found.
The power in this forest might have been used to restore the old gods and all their servants to life. Not the twisted half-life that you gave them, Jane Cassander. A true rebirth, as they were at the dawn of the world. But you called upon that power to destroy, not to create. You twisted the power of creation to your own ends, until all that was left was an empty shell.
And the Archons I fought in the forest? The ones that Jane restored to life?
Dead, wilted like blossoms, and scattered to the wind. When you slew the reborn god, all Jane's creations were undone. In time, the forest will recover. But it will be ordinary. No longer the Mornweald.
The forest was already corrupted, even before Jane tried to call the Archons back to life.
The first time Jane called on the power of the old gods, it was to murder Hugh Montbaron 30 years ago. She knew she was misusing that power, but she was too full of anger, and she didn't care. After that, the Mornweald grew rotten and sick. All its potential for good was lost.
So she came back, and made the same mistake a second time.
Yes, driven by anger again. So the Archons that she called back to life were nothing but monsters. It was the same for the Creator God. The creature that you fought was shaped by Jane's fury and guilt.
Guilt?
Yes, Jane Cassander. You can hide your remorse from yourself, but you cannot hide it from me.
We have a decision to make. What to do with Jane.
Not yet. There is one thing more. The other Archons did not lie. You died in this forest, and 30 years ago, you were given new life. Here in this grove.
And you were the one who carried me out of the forest, for Odo to find me. So it was you who restored me to life?
I carried you out of the forest, yes. But I didn't give you life. I have no power over the old gods, or their creations. It could only have been the Creator gods, whatever was left of them, that called you back to life.
All the Archons that were called back to life were corrupt. Their fires were dark and cold, not like mine at all.
Unless you were born before the sickness truly took root. Just after the Legion died, and the Mornweald began to rot from within. Perhaps the Creator gods knew they were doomed, and they wanted you to destroy them, to undo Jane's mistake. We'll never know for sure, but if that's true, then you've honored them.
And Jane? What of her?
Think of all the people who call this woman a saint. Do you truly want her blood on your hands?
I expect no mercy from the Legion. Do as you like.
Before I pass judgment on you, I want to know why you acted as you did. Honestly, and in your own words.
Why did I slaughter so many legionnaires who had no part in killing my father, the king? I was young, full of anger. My father was dead by the Legion's hand. So I raised an army. I swore to avenge him myself, if I had to carve my way through every chapter house in Ebb. If the other Legionnaires had handed over Mont Baron, I would never have hunted them down. But they were so stubborn, so loyal to their chief. That was wrong of me. I should not have punished the whole Legion for Mont Baron's sin.
You've told me why you destroyed the Legion, but why fight a war with the Queen?
I will answer your question with one of my own. Do you believe that Rosalind would make a stronger queen than me? My father was a king, my mother a chief among her people and chosen of her gods. I have made mistakes, yes, but I know how to lead. And Rosalind, she has the heart of a lamb. Would you trust the rebuilding of this kingdom to a sheltered little girl?
By the laws of Ebb, Rosalind has the better claim.
The better claim? Because her father was legitimate. A standard I have never understood. I was the king's eldest child. He did not marry my mother, but he loved her better than his queen. The best claim was mine, save for a technicality of law. I would have kept this country whole and strong.
I have no more questions. I've made my decision.
And I am ready for your judgment, though I know what it will be.
No, you won't die today. I promised Rosalind that I'd spare your life.
Little Queen Mouse. I owe my life to that cringing girl. That is a fine irony. Am I to be your prisoner, then? Paraded through the streets in a gilded cage?
When Ebb is united again, you'll have a fair and public trial. Let the people judge you. The Legion will support them, whatever they decide.
You are not the Legion I remember. They were arrogant, and justice of any kind was their privilege alone. I accept your judgment of me. Let the war between us end.
You are bound by your words, Jane Cassinder. The Legion has won, and you will trouble them no more.
It's over then.
For now, you deserve a rest. But it may be short-lived.
Not all of Jane's followers will accept her defeat.
No, they will not. The country is still divided against itself. And the Legion has old enemies. They have not forgotten you. Some may be far worse than Jane. But you've shown yourself to be fair, as well as strong. Whatever happens, the people of Ebb will stand behind you.
We should leave this place, no? Our future lies far from here.
We part ways then. I will be watching. And one day, I will see you again.
You bid farewell to the Radiant Youth, and he sent you back to our chapter house in Stonebridge, where I awaited your return. In the weeks that followed, news spread of Jane Cassinder's defeat. Her army scattered, giving us time to rest and regroup. Martin Guiscard returned safely from the Spire, along with Meister Wolf and the Automaton army. Only a few weeks later, elections were held in Stonebridge. Meister Wolf, who had been so public in his support of the Legion, swept to victory and was declared mayor of the city. He credited you for his success. The people of Stonebridge deeply respected your decision to hand over the dapper old gent to the city authorities. After the humiliating events in the Foundry, Meister Castle was forced to resign as Guildmaster of Ironmongers. The Cyclopses negotiated a new contract for higher wages, and with the help of Meister Fiddlewick, formed a new workers' union. For the first time in 100 years, they were permitted to leave the Foundry and spend their newfound wealth in the markets and taverns of Stonebridge. Cyclopses are becoming an increasingly common sight in Stonebridge. and many believe that they will eventually take their place as equal citizens of the town. After many months of confinement, the dapper old gent was sent to the gallows and hanged. His body was supposed to be returned to the Legion, but it vanished on the following night. To this day, no one has been able to find the gent's remains. It seems he is destined to remain a mystery in death, just as he was in life. With the reopening of the Heroes Crypt, pilgrims returned to the Rukenval, and merchants followed. The following winter was harsh, just as Lazar Basili feared. But thanks to the trade from the south, the people of Ravensrill stayed warm and fed. When spring came, many more pilgrims arrived, and the town of Ravensrill grew wealthy again. Lazar and his people built a new stone wall around the town, and reclaimed their abandoned houses and farmsteads from the forest. It is a happy change of fortune for a long-suffering town. In his last letter to me, Lazar added one other piece of news. Gunderic Manor has a new mistress, a witch called Leona. The manor has become a gathering place for scores of Lescanzi witches, many of whom are apparently quite beautiful. Lazar reports that the young men of Ravensrill have also begun frequenting the manor, much to the irritation of their mothers and wives. Since the local men will not hear any talk of banishing the witches, it appears that Leona and her people have found a new home, which was perhaps what she intended from the start. Queen Rosalind abandoned Glitterdelve, embarking on a tour of all the cities and towns of the West, meeting as many of her subjects as she could. The Queen showed all the energy of youth, and I think she fully expects to reunite the country in a matter of months, not years. Reality may not be so kind, as Lord Devonsey has tried to make her understand. In truth, the future of this country depends more upon what we decide. If she doesn't have the Legion behind her, the Queen is only a single voice, well-meaning though she might be. As for Devonsey himself, I think the man was impressed by your decision to spare Jane Cassinder, as the Queen had asked. When he last visited Stonebridge, he spent a great deal of time in our chapter house. I believe he might actually be willing to rejoin our ranks, if we choose to accept him. Rajani and her sisters returned to Stonebridge, quietly and carefully disguised. Jane Cassinder's defeat affected them deeply, though not in the way I expected. Their devotion to Jane was replaced by a deep admiration for you. I think they see in you the leader they should have followed all along, and they have lately expressed a desire to join our ranks. I maintain my suspicion of any Archon who once followed Jane, but I believe that redemption is not impossible, even for them. Jane Cassinder was brought as a prisoner to Stonebridge, and a great public trial was convened to decide her fate. Representatives of all the major factions sat in judgment. Everyone agreed that she was guilty of terrible crimes against Ebb, but her sentence was the cause of great debate. It was Meister Mudgutter, with typical goblin cunning, who devised her punishment. Jane Cassinder was imprisoned in the same mining tunnels where she had trapped the royal court, sealed forever beneath the ground, in the endless dark. An Archon thrives upon fire. Who knows what terrible change she might suffer when she is forever deprived of light? I only know this. The pale, withered hand that emerges from her cell each day to take her plate of food bears little resemblance to the woman who was shut inside. As for the Legion, the rest of our story is yet to be told. We have a nation to reforge, a fellowship to rebuild, and old enemies who would see us destroyed. And we have questions to decide. Who will assume true power in Ebb if the nation is restored? And who will take the mantle of Grand Master? But these matters I leave for another chronicle and another time. Whatever happens, know that you will not face the future alone. The Legion will stand by you, always.